Today's edition of Mac Voices is sponsored by Smile, the makers of PDF Pen for Mac, PDF Pen Pro for Mac, PDF Pen for iPhone and iPad, PDF Pen Scan Plus for iPhone and iPad, Text Expander for Mac, Text Expander for iPhone and iPad, and Disk Label. Find out more about all their great products at smilesoftware.com. And by Casper, a better mattress for a better night's sleep. To find out more, try one for 100 days and get a $50 discount. Visit casper.com/MacVoices. Welcome to Mac Voices. This is the Talk of the Mac community. I'm Chuck Joiner. Folks, this is MacJury's Mac Voices gift guide number 4 for the 2015 season. The way scheduling is going, this could very likely be the last gift guide for this year because people are getting busy and we haven't been able to put together any more juries to discuss gifts. So this could be your last chance for some really great ideas. And I can't think of a better group to give you last chance ideas. And I'll leave it at that. So, first of all, let's find out who's here, and then let's get into what we're giving and getting. Just for those who have not been following along, the rules here are pretty simple. We do a round of gifts, each one of us picking one gift. Then we ask that nobody repeat gifts from any of the previous juries or from, don't steal from each other unless something hasn't been named yet, and then you can claim it. And we're asking folks to tell us what they're going to give, what they'd like to get, or what they recommend for the folks that are giving or getting. So with that, here we go. First up, Mr. Steve Sande. Steve, it's great to have you back.
It's great to be back, and it's another holiday season coming up. It's just unbelievable. Last year went like that.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So right now, your credits are Apple World Today, and what else?
Also, the OWC blog, otherwise known as the Rocket Yard. So if you're familiar with OWC, the folks over at macsales.com, that's their blog.
Great. Well, it's definitely good to have you.
It's great to be here. And did you want my pick, or are you just doing introductions?
No, we're going to do introductions first.
Good.
Then everybody can pick on each other openly.
That sounds good.
Next up, Mr. Mark Fuccio. Mark, it's great to have you back. It's been a little too long.
Yes, Chuck. It's been a long time since I've been here. I haven't been on with these characters for quite some time, so I think we have a lot of bad jokes to catch up on, as well as some Christmas gifts.
Yeah. For the folks who haven't or just joining us for the first time and aren't familiar with you, where are you hiding these days?
I live in Silicon Valley, and I've been doing a bunch of consulting, doing a lot more with Drobo again since August. So that's going well, and doing other things with other storage companies and internet companies. So I have plenty of stuff to do, and wish I had more than 24 hours in the day.
Right there with you. No question. Well, it's great to have you back.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
And last but absolutely not least, Mr. Jeff Gamet has joined us to do what Jeff Gamet always does.
That leaving it open like that is so exciting. I'm going to take that as an opportunity.
Just keep in mind that we try to avoid the explicit tag if we can. Other than that, it's wide open.
All right. Well, it's been great being here today.
All right. So let's do it. Let's get into round one. And Steve, I know that you have a little bit of limited time, so I'm going to start with you. So maybe we can, if you have to go, we'll have your final round pick first. So let's give you the first gift of possibly the last Mac Jury of 2015. Got to get all the details right.
That was a mouthful. And I'm going to give you a mouthful for my first pick. And it's a rather interesting device from Ricoh. You probably remember them as being a camera manufacturer, and also I think they make copiers. But it's a device called the Theta S spherical camera. And I don't know how many of the listeners are really familiar with spherical photography, but if you ever use Google Street View, then you've seen some of the images that can be made with the process. And basically, instead of just taking an iPhone or a DSLR and taking a picture that's a rectangle or a square, or maybe a long elongated rectangle if you're taking a panorama, the camera takes a picture of everything around the photographer in all directions. So that can be done with a free app. In fact, Google Street View has an app. There are a bunch of other apps like 360-degree panorama, Sphere, Bubbly, a couple of these other ones. And with those, you take a bunch of photos, usually like over 30, pointing in all sorts of different directions, and then it stitches them together. So you get a lot of distortion, and you can also get things like torsos that are hanging in midair with no legs, different things like that. Kind of scary. Well, the Theta S actually takes the picture live. It takes it very quickly. It uses two 180-degree fisheye lenses back to back, like this, to take the spherical photo, or even up to 25 minutes of video. And that's immersive 360 degree around you video. This little device is about $350. Availability has been somewhat limited, so hopefully listeners will be able to get their hands on one. I love spherical photography. I love uploading my photos to Google Street View. I've got 25 photos out there right now taken around the world. They've received over 300,000 views. So it's a growing, wow, neat photography method. I guess that's the best way of putting it.
Steve, I've seen this, but I haven't had a chance to ask anyone that knows. If I take a video, and naturally I'm going to ask about video, but if I take a video here, obviously I'm seeing you all, but I'm also seeing everything behind me. Is there any way for me then to take a section of that video, just say, let's just pretend that I want to take the video that's there, and just export that into a normal format?
I think you can, and I'm going to qualify that because I haven't shot any video yet. You can upload the full 360-degree videos to YouTube and other sharing services. But as for being able to edit, and in other words, have it take a picture of the entire world around you and then just pull out like a 16:9 block out of that I don't know. I think you probably could do that just by simply showing the 360-degree video or the spherical video on your Mac, and then using some sort of screen capture software to get just the area you want.
Got it. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. At the very worst, it's a workaround. So good, interesting pick. All right, Mark, how about if we give you number 2, because I'm afraid of what Jeff may come up with.
Okay. Well, I also have a photography app, and we all know that iPhones have great cameras in them, and some of us even are good photographers in terms of being able to recognize proper lighting and things, and the rest of the world needs help. And for this, there's an app. It's called Lucid, and it's by a company called Perfectly Clear, which is up in Canada. I guess their full corporate name is Athentech Imaging. For years, they've made software that's used by all the photo labs when you bring in cameras, so that what their plugin will do is it builds on top of that. So if you go in and you have a photo and maybe it's a little bit out of balance, maybe you have a little bit of backlighting and a person in front, it will adjust the backlighting down a little bit, or go in, we'll adjust some of the colors and make it pop, so that will make really great looking images. So I've been able to take some of my just ordinary images that I take on the iPhone, and using the software, I've been able to make it pop. They were a really cool vendor this past fall at the Photo Plus Expo. They're really, I think probably they have what I think deserves to be one of the best known photography apps. So that's why I'm mentioning it here. It's packaged a couple of ways. in the App Store for an iOS device, it's $2.99. For an app for your Mac, I believe the price is $49. As well as they also have plug-in for Lightroom, and that's over $100. I forget exactly the price. It's $129, $149. I'm not exactly sure. Not being a Lightroom user, that's not really of interest to me. But certainly the app, on a Mac or on iOS, well worth it. You can take pictures that just look okay, and with it, you can make the images look great.
Interesting. Good pick. Okay, so we have 2 photography apps, and this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Mr. Jeff Gamet, wide open.
So many options, but I'm going to keep it totally family friendly.
Thank you.
Surprisingly family friendly. and so my first pick is actually something that kids will enjoy, and I think adults will get a big kick out of also. So we all hopefully remember ViewMaster from growing up, where you'd have the little thing you hold up to your face, and you get the disc with the slides in it, and you pop it in, and you get a sort of 3D-ish view of something. And maybe it was Batman or the Flintstones or an Apollo rocket launch or the Savannah or whatever. Well, ViewMaster is still around, and it's still so cool that, believe it or not, I actually collect the ViewMaster reels. And yeah, I know.
Really?
Yeah. But what they've done is they've updated this, so you can still get the original ViewMaster, but my pick is the ViewMaster VR. And what it is it's actually, hold on, I've got one. Cool. It's this.
Okay.
And it pops open. Your iPhone attaches inside, or your iPod Touch, or your Android phone. So it doesn't discriminate. And then there are special apps that you can get for the ViewMaster VR, and they let you explore virtual worlds, like in 3 dimensions. And so right now they have 4 sets of apps out. One that does space, another one does like big landmark locations around the world. Another one is like nature, and I can't remember what the 4th one is. But anyhow, so they have these different discs in essence that you can use, and you can either just download the apps, or and they're like $15 for an app, or you can buy the physical disc. And when you get the physical disc, you still go download the specific app. But when you have the disc, you get to do augmented reality things that involve that disc that you can't do without the disc. So you get a little bit something extra if you spend the money to get each of the ViewMaster disc things. The discs don't go inside the ViewMaster; they just sit on the table, and you point your ViewMaster at them. And what makes this even cooler to me is that this is designed so that if you want to load up Google Cardboard capable apps on your iPhone, they work with this too. So not only is it a really cool ViewMaster, it's also the best Google Cardboard device I have come across, and it's only $30. And you can even pick them up at Target. So if you're looking for a really cool last-minute gift, you can find a Target pretty much anywhere.
Jeff, for those of us who have 6S Pluses, are we out of luck on this?
Totally fits.
Really?
No kidding.
No kidding. It'll hold a 6S Plus.
As well as a regular 6S?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've adapted it so it'll fit pretty much anything.
Yeah, that little space inside where you set your iPhone, it's actually like a spring-loaded clamp. So it expands out to hold your iPhone, and the width isn't an issue because it's pretty big. And it'll even take like an iPod Touch, which is smaller. It has an adapter to fit in there so that it'll hold that in place also.
So do you have to worry like you do for scuba masks about the width and how it fits along your face?
No, you don't, because it's just a plain old ViewMaster.
Okay. Cool.
So
And I've done it with my glasses on.
So this can Google Cardboard can go to this, but all the extras can't go to Google Cardboard.
Right.
Okay. So there's and really, that's not bad. I mean, I think Google Cardboard, if you buy the brand name, is like $30. So this is just a no-brainer.
Right. Yeah. And this, I mean, it's really well built. It's a good plastic design. So it's designed to hold up.
Good deal. Good
It's
deal.
pretty cool.
Nice.
Nice pick. My first round pick is going to be sort of generic as opposed to specific. But I think this holiday season is the time that everybody needs an iPad. Now, the question becomes which iPad. And at this point, I don't care. I think everyone needs an iPad at this point because you need to start learning the interface. You need to learn how it's going to integrate into your life. And I promise you, whether it's the Pro or the Mini or the Air or Air 2 or anything in between, any variation, you're going to find that this really is a device that you love. Ironically, I've been working with an iPad Pro and an iPad Mini to supplement my Air on both sides, and I'm finding uses for both of them. I'm finding myself surrounded by iPads, and they're in use all the time. Now, that doesn't mean that the Macs are going away, so we're not going to do any of this can replace that. But with the new split screen modes on iOS 9 and some of the other enhancements, I just think these are devices that now they say we're supposed to be in a post-PC era, and now I feel like there is pretty much an iPad for everyone. And with some of the prices we're seeing Best Buy right now, depending on when you're seeing this, I think they have either $100 or $125 off of iPads. This is just got to be the thing that you go and upgrade yourself or your loved ones to. So go find an iPad. The one tip I will give you is please do not buy a 16 gig iPad. That will taint the experience.
Oh man, that would be the worst.
Yeah, so just step up to that mid-level. If you aren't comfortable going the whole way up, just step up to the mid-level, and beginning iPad owners will get a lot out of it, and you'll still retain some resale value, and don't have to worry about problems with upgrading the OS or adding too many apps or taking too many pictures or too much video.
Do you have a pencil to go with your iPad Pro?
I do not.
Oh, it totally.
Did you order? Are you waiting to get one?
No, because I know Jeff is quite the artist. I'm jealous of his talent. In fact, I was standing in at a Best Buy over the weekend, staring at 4 of them hanging on the rack, and thought,
profiteering opportunity.
Yeah, I know, but I just, it's funny, Mark. I just couldn't. That would be $100 just frivolously spent for me. For Jeff,
you could have got 4. You could have sold them for one, $50 or $100 profit and got one for free.
Yeah, I know, but that just, let somebody else get them for their kids.
Chuck, thank you for not being the profiteer, because I know how difficult and frustrating it is for people that are trying to get a hold of Apple Pencils to actually do so. So I think you just embodied the Christmas spirit beautifully. And I realize as I'm saying this, I'm kind of making Mark sound like a jerk, and I don't mean to.
Meanwhile, Steve was over there waving his Apple Pencil in front of us.
Steve is waving his pencil. He's taunting us.
Oh, that was good. That was very good. All right, so let's move across the screen here. Mark, let's let you start round 2.
Okay, so I had a little application that I'd recommend building on the iPad idea, and it's a thing called Purify Blocker, and it's one of these ad blockers. And I had been using for a long time ad blockers on my Mac as plugins to Firefox, and I've been using this for a while now on my iPad and iPhone, and man, does it make it run fast. It just eliminates a lot of the junk libraries of all the stupid JavaScript and other junk that just plugs up the pipe, and it creates a much better user experience. I was really amazed when I first installed it. These things are really, really, really fast, as well as some of the sites I like to go to, like the New York Times. You no longer have all these junk interstitial ads that just get in the way. And I know some people think this is a hot topic, but ultimately it's whose device is it? Is it mine? I bought it. I paid for it. I should be able to control what I use and what I see. And it's not illegal not to download and view all the content. So I recommend you go out and spend the enormous sum of $1.99. And it's called iOS Purify. It's the Purify blocker. It works on both the iPad and the iPhone. And this will really give you a significantly improved and better browsing experience.
Mark, I hear so much about so many different ad blockers. You're finding that it's that much faster, and I'm therefore assuming that it's downloading less data because there's not data to be downloaded?
That's right. So a lot of the ad trackers have all these Java, script libraries that none of them weigh in particularly heavy. I mean, well, it's a question of judgment, right? 70, 80K. But, if you're going to be downloading, 20 of those or 25 of those, that adds up, especially if you're viewing over, an LTE connection. The speed difference is really dramatic. A lot of people say that as a result, by not downloading it and doing all the processing, it extends battery life. I have an iPhone 6, 6 Plus, so it has plenty of battery life for me. So maybe if you have a smaller device, it might be better. I see Mr. Sande there shaking his head, so it sounds like he has some experience here to share as well using these type of softwares.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's like night and day, and it's so funny because my wife and I were. She mentioned some website. I went out to it the other day just to, see what she was looking at there. And she was talking about how long it was taking for this page to load and how slow it was. And I said, well, that's strange. On my iPad, it's just coming up like that. And then it occurred to me, she didn't want an ad blocker on her machine because of some sites that she goes to. Apparently, they've got a lot of scripts associated with them. She wasn't able to actually get all the functionality, but it makes an amazing amount of difference.
Yep, I agree.
Have any of you run into the situation that I'm hearing about, but I've only seen it, I think, twice, where if you're running ad blocking software, you get a message popping up saying, you can't visit our site if you are blocking ads?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nope, I haven't hit that yet.
Okay. How do you guys feel about that?
It's a legitimate request, because there's black, white, and tons of gray in between that. For content supported sites, i.e. ads, I don't think that you should really just carte blanche, get rid of them. But some of them have become to the point where it's just gone overboard and it's just created sort of a sewer and a cesspool of a horrible opportunity. So you have to be a little bit judicious, and some of those sites, if they pop that up there, if the site matters to you, whitelist it so that when you go back again, you'll see the ads and you continue to support them. Whitelistings, with this app, whitelisting is very easy. So I think it's a case-by-case judgment, and people should just do the right thing.
And if websites were to change how they handled their on-page ads so that they were more like what they did before Google got into the ad business, and we ended up with this whole cascading thing where our web browser is required to do all the processing for ad placement, which, I mean, seriously, that's how it works right now, then it would everything would load much faster, and it would have no impact on ad blockers, because what the ad blockers are blocking are not related to an intelligent and efficient ad management system that's running on the server side.
Yep.
Well said. Okay, good pick.
And it's inexpensive.
Yes, we like inexpensive.
Wait till next round.
Oh boy,
something we go the other direction.
Something to look forward to. Jeff, how about your pick for round 2?
Okay, my pick for round 2, I'm keeping it totally in the family friendly end still, and in the relatively affordable end. So my next pick is actually a book, a literal dead tree book. Wow. And it's called Lego Star Wars: Small Scenes from a Big Galaxy. And there is a photographer, and I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. I'll do my best. He's Vesa Letamake. and he's, I believe, Norwegian. And several years ago, he started photographing his kids' toys. And they turned out to be like really awesome photographs. And so a lot of this led to Star Wars action figures. And then to his kids' Lego kits, and specifically Lego Star Wars. And so I'm sure that we have all seen like little Lego stormtroopers in the snow and skiing online. That's Vesa's work. And his design and his eye for capturing Lego minifigures as a legitimate photography platform is just amazing. And he's so good at this that when the Lego movie was in pre-production and trying to figure out how to create a lot of these visualizations that they wanted in the movie, they actually consulted with Vesa. And so there's a lot of stuff in the Lego movie from a visual aspect that is directly influenced by him. So he's taken a bunch of the art or photography that he's done over the years, just Star Wars specific, and put it all together in this book, Small Scenes from a Big Galaxy. And it's $25, I believe, list price. But if you go to Amazon, I know you can pick it up for cheaper. And it's a really nice hardback book. The printing is beautiful. The images are fantastic. And it is an absolutely wonderfully fun book that you can put on your shelf, leave out as a coffee table book. And kids will enjoy it because it's Lego and it's Star Wars. And adults will love it because it looks really neat and it's Lego and it's Star Wars.
Very nice. And you're not excited about Star Wars at all, Jeff?
No.
Okay.
Wouldn't it be great if they like decided to make a new movie or something?
Yes. You already have the viewer for it.
Yeah.
That's right.
We'll do a comic book first.
Yes.
Before we go down to Star Wars, no, never. Before we go down the tunnel, Steve, help us out. Third round. Second round.
Second round. Well, I'm not going to go inexpensive here. I'm going to go with another, I won't say horribly expensive thing. But I know that a lot of you guys have probably used the Olloclip lenses in the past. And one issue I've always had with those is, you always like a particular case for your iPhone. And you either have to take the case off and use their little mount to put the lenses on your camera or on your iPhone, or you have to use the Ollo case, which is the Olloclip case. Well, Photo Jojo, which is a website that does a lot of photography-oriented products and different things for iOS as well, came out with their own lens kit that they designed. It's called Iris, I-R-I-S. And it's pretty cool. You can, since it uses and I'll just kind of hold it up here, it uses a piece of elastic paracord to kind of, snag onto the phone. And there's just one little tiny thin plastic piece that you put into your iPhone case if you're using a case. And that lines up with these little slots on the back of the lens here, the lens mount, to make sure that everything's, perfectly aligned. If you get the kit, that's a wide-angle fisheye and a macro lens, it runs $140 list price, but they're selling them right now for $109. And if you want just a single lens, once again, wide-angle fisheye or macro, they're $69. I was really, really impressed with the optics and the photos. I haven't taken that many of them, but some of the photos that I did take with it have been really impressive and don't show any aberrations around the corners like some of the Olloclip lenses will. So I was pretty impressed. Good stuff.
So, Steve, this attaches by the elastic. Is that what you're saying? So how
exactly.
Are you sure that you get it lined up right over the lens?
Well, like I said, in fact, maybe I can hold it up here. I don't know if we'll be able to see that, but this is a case from a company called Lander on my iPhone 6s Plus. And you'll see that there's a little piece of plastic that's sticking out here. This is actually this mount that goes inside the case.
Oh.
And then you have this little piece that sticks out. So it could be pretty much any case, unless it's something that's waterproof and has a window over the iPhone camera. And then this little slot right here on the back of the lens fits onto that. And I won't go through the gyrations of moving the elastic around, but the elastic then grabs onto the phone. And I just flipped it off there. But anyway.
Got the idea.
It works well.
Yeah. Good. Interesting. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of iPhone lenses, different lens options come out. So yeah. Good. Okay. My second round pick, I'm going to go very practical and I'm going to go free. But this kind of falls in a little closer to the heading of New Year's resolutions. Although I think you could have some fun with it over the holidays. I'm going to recommend a workout app. Now, this is one that, I don't know about you, but trying to get into working out and all, and I've become much more aware of fitness since getting my Apple Watch. But all these apps want you to dedicate 30 minutes, 40 minutes. They want you to go through all these gyrations. And frankly, it just leaves you cold. And I think that's one reason people don't get into it, because they just don't want to take the time. This is called 7-Minute Workout. And,
right.
And that is exactly what it is. It will work you out for 7 minutes. Now, you can change any of the exercises to time them longer, or you can just do multiple repetitions of the 7 minutes. But this will, I guarantee you, if you haven't been working with a trainer, this is going to find a few muscles that haven't been used, and you'll know it the next day or for the next couple of days. But it goes from things like the traditional push-ups and sit-ups and even jumping jacks to wall sits and lunges, standing up and down on a chair. It requires no special equipment. You just hit start and follow the instructions. For 30 seconds, you're doing an exercise, and then you get a 10-second break. And these are all, by the way, configurable. But it really is a great way to sort of get into it. If you have kids, this would be fun to just watch them, make them perform the exercises. But at the same time, too, it's a good way to get into it. And then what you'll find yourself doing is, okay, I think I'll up this or I'll up that, or maybe I'll just do a second repetition of the whole circuit. But it just makes it so easy to get into, because 7 minutes. You can entertain yourself for 7 minutes easily and do these exercises and not get bored and not feel like you have to do a lot of extra stuff. So 7-minute workout, give it a try. And again, it may be a New Year's resolution thing, but I think it'll at least help you get introduced to the idea of getting a little extra exercise. Have you guys used any of the workout apps at all?
I have, and I stopped using them because they tend to be too complicated to stick with. But something where you're doing a 7-minute commitment, that seems a lot easier to manage.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the 7-minute workout app.
Yeah, and Jeff, you hit it. Management of this thing. Yes, you can go in and tweak the settings if you want, but really all you have to do is launch the app, hit start, and then it'll tell you what to do. And it's got a metronome to count down the 30 seconds. Then it's got a whistle to say, okay, start this exercise or stop this exercise. So you don't have to be standing there looking at your iPhone or wondering what's going on. It's going to let you know very easily in a very friendly way.
Is it purely iPhone? Will it connect to the watch?
You know what, Mark? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think it has a watch component, but don't hold me to that. And obviously, you could probably run it on an iPad as well. But I've just been using it on my iPhone.
Cool.
So that's round 2. We're halfway through. Today's edition of Mac Voices is sponsored by Smile, the makers of PDF Pen for Mac, PDF Pen Pro for Mac, PDF Pen for iPhone and iPad, PDF Pen Scan Plus for iPhone and iPad, Text Expander for Mac, Text Expander for iPhone and iPad, and Disk Label. Find out more about all their great products at smilesoftware.com. With the arrival of iPad Pro, the long-running discussion of the iPad as laptop replacement has been rekindled, with all sorts of new fuel on the fire. I'll leave at least part of that discussion for another time, but what I do want to point out to you is that no matter what Apple platform you decide to use, Smile has you covered with versions of their killer apps for both. Text Expander is a must-have app that lets you create snippets of text that expand into anything you like. Corrected or specified words with the correct capitalization, paragraphs of boilerplate text, HTML code, and much more. Text Expander can take text from your clipboard and manipulate it, changing case, changing format, and a lot more. Or you can trigger OS X automation if you need to. Create forms for others to fill out. The list goes on. And Text Expander for iPhone and iPad bring that functionality to your iOS devices and now to the iPad Pro, so you can keep the productivity train rolling. Better still, by using Dropbox or iCloud, all of your snippets created on one platform are automatically synced with the other. No recreating, copying, or other maintenance necessary. Just clean, simple, smooth productivity. The way you like it. The way it should be. The Smile way. Why not find out just how much time and effort Text Expander can save you by downloading a free trial at smilesoftware.com. Take it for a spin and discover the power tool that so many of us have been benefiting from for years. PDF Pen and PDF Pen Pro are also available for both the Mac and iOS platforms, but that's a story for another time. For now, visit smilesoftware.com, try out Text Expander for free, and tell them you heard about it on MacVoices. Oh, and while you're there, take a few minutes to check out the spiffy new Smile website. You're seeing some of it here, but there's a lot more to explore. That's smilesoftware.com for some of the best productivity apps for Macs, iPhones, and iPads of all shapes and sizes. Thanks to Smile for being the longest-running sponsor of MacVoices. Jeff, how about if we let you lead off round 3?
Okay, so round 3 is going to be a little bit more expensive for me, but it's still family friendly, unless you choose to use this in a not family friendly way, and that's totally up to you, and I do not judge. And this is the Withings Home. And Withings Home is it's a smart camera that goes onto your Wi-Fi network, and so it just
I saw your video on the internet, Jeff.
Yeah, see, sometimes not so family friendly. But I digress.
It's a horror story.
Well, some people they'll pay good money for that, but I said too much.
Just let him get through it, please.
Wait, no, I can bring up the video. I can show you.
No.
You'll need a widescreen. Anyhow, the camera. What it does is it actually does like the fisheye view of whatever area it's monitoring, and so you get it's like 170 degree field of vision, but then it's also designed so that in software it fixes the image so it doesn't look fisheye. It just looks like a really wide shot. It's so wide my hand is out of the camera now. And it's a high definition camera, and it can just sit there and watch, and you can have it set to record when it senses motion, or send you alerts when it senses motion. My experience is that as a security camera, if the motion is more than about 6 feet away, it does not reliably send you an alert saying that there's motion. But I mean, it's always just watching. And then it has a built-in microphone, so it listens for sound and can give you alerts when like there's a loud sound in your place. And it has a speaker built in. So if you're monitoring off your iPhone what's happening in real time in your place and someone's inside, you could just hit the little button and say, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm assuming it's someone that ought to be there. And so you can kind of freak them out. You hope. And if they're not supposed to be there, you can say, "Hey, get out. The police are already on the way.
Get off my lawn."
Yeah, get off my lawn. And It also has air quality sensor in, and so what it does is it tracks what are called VOCs, which is volatile organic compounds. And exactly what all is included in that, I'm not sure, but I know that if I burn dinner, it will trigger the camera and send me an alert that the air quality is really bad in my place. And I'm like, yeah, no kidding, I just ruined dinner. It doesn't look like a regular webcam, because you know how a lot of them, it's very utilitarian. So it's kind of this like tube or blocky shape on a stick. And this is it's a cylinder about, like this big around and about that tall. And it has a fake wood grain finish on the outside and a white base. So it looks more friendly in your home.
Is it Wi-Fi or wired or both?
Wi-Fi. Oh, actually, you can wire it in. Yeah, so it does both, and it comes with its own little power brick and everything, and the base is magnetic. So so it looks sort of like you put it in a saucer, and so you can change the angle if you need it to shoot up a little higher or down a little lower, and it works really well. It looks nice. The image quality is great. You don't have to sign up for a subscription package to get functionality out of it. If you do, that gives you more control and capabilities with what you're recording and when and how long you can save it.
Is it iOS only, or is there a Mac app that you can use and record on a?
It is iOS only.
iOS only. Okay.
Yeah. But it's really nice and it works really well. There's an Apple Watch companion app. So when I get motion alerts in my place, like if Nightshade, my office manager, hops up on my desk and walks directly in front of the camera, I get the little tap on my wrist, and then I pull out my watch and I look, and I'm looking at the image in real time of what's happening in my place.
Jeff, can you turn on the camera remotely, or do you have to wait for the motion trigger?
You can turn the camera on remotely or turn it off. So like if you're at home and you just don't want the camera watching while you're at home, just open up the app and turn the camera off. And then the lens stays off until you tell it otherwise. And and it also has a baby monitor function. And so you can set it so that it plays like lullabies, and the base has LEDs in it and they change colors. So you can have the light changing color while the music's playing, and then like if you get a VOC alert, the base flashes red, and and it looks nice. It works really well, and it's just a really cool thing. I really like having one, and I like that it doesn't look like a regular webcam just sitting in the corner of my place. And they're $200.
Amazon?
Amazon, it's cheaper, but you can walk into an Apple store and pick one up. So if you need another last-minute gift idea, you can procrastinate for a few more days before you pick one of these up.
Jeff, I realize we're still in a very gray area here, but is this being advertised as HomeKit compatible?
This one is not HomeKit compatible.
Okay.
Which on one hand disappoints me, but on the other hand, with my overall experiences with HomeKit, I'm kind of okay that it's not on HomeKit. Like my Ecobee thermostat, I took it off my HomeKit setup so that I could actually use it effectively.
Okay.
Yeah, but it would be kind of cool. It would also be cool if it had if this then that support, because if it did, I could do a lot of stuff with this camera remotely.
But it doesn't have that. Is there? Do you think it can come with a software upgrade?
It could totally support if this then that. Withings has offered if this then that support for some of their other products, so there's no reason why they couldn't add it in for this one as well. They just haven't. It's something that I have been told they are looking into. So maybe maybe they will have something that can tell us at CES. By the way, that is not a hint. That is not foreshadowing. That's just me hoping that when I chat with the Withings people at CES, there's something they can tell me.
Good. Nice pick. I think this is something everybody's been looking at, is all of the different cameras and security systems and sensors for the home. So it's nice to have a recommendation there. Good.
I like it a lot.
Good.
Cool.
Steve, how about round 3?
Well, I think for my third round, I'm going to do something. He mentioned Withings, and I years and years and years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, when Withings came out with their blood pressure monitor or blood pressure cuff, I got one of those. High blood pressure runs in my family. Fortunately, I've been lucky enough not to have it. And just to let you know how long I've had the Withings cuff, it still has a 30-pin connector on it. I actually have to use a 30-pin to Lightning adapter to be able to use it with my iPhone. But one new device is out from a company called Quardio Arm. It should be Cardio, but I noticed they were pronouncing it Kwardio, so Quardio Arm. It's a $99 blood pressure monitor that uses Bluetooth 4 and integrates with Apple Health. It's got a companion iOS app and Apple Watch app. You can actually tap the Apple Watch app to have it start taking a reading. It comes in 7 different colors, and it's really, really compact. This is what it looks like when it's all wrapped up. That's the cuff around it, and then you can see there's just a little rectangular box, so to speak, that has all the electronics in it. The cool thing about this is I've always felt that the Withings blood pressure cuff has somewhat read on the high side. In other words, it's showing that I have borderline blood pressure, yet every time I go to the doctor, they say, wow, you've got great blood pressure, very nice and low. This device, every time, I always, when been testing it, I'll take my blood pressure with it, take it with the Withings cuff, and this is always in the range that my doctor gets, which is about 15 points below in terms of diastolic pressure, what the Withings was showing me. I've been very, very happy with this. And like I said, $99. You can pretty much take it with you everywhere, too. If you want to see if your blood pressure really does go up when you go to work or when you're driving, you can actually take it with you, tap on the Apple Watch, and have it take your blood pressure while you're driving and see that it's 250 over 180 or something like that.
That's when it's time to stop and read your Lego Star Wars book.
What he said. Absolutely. Or look through your viewfinder or your
ViewMaster.
ViewMaster, thank you.
Is it HealthKit compatible?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Yes.
Or punch out whoever's causing your blood pressure to go up.
There's an idea.
Yeah. There's all kind of ways to address blood pressure, Steve. Come on.
You got it.
Good. All of a sudden we're on a health kick here. Let's see. So, Mark, I think you're up for round 3.
Round 3. Okay. Well, I think this may be a very first for the MacJury Christmas edition. I'm going to re-gift an idea. I'm going to re-gift an idea that a year ago I was on your show, and Michael Cohen, he mentioned these little Bose noise-canceling earbuds, and they were great. I got a pair, and these are perfect for airplanes. You just pop them in and gets rid of all that background noise, and you can listen to music or your podcasts and sleep. It's really great. Around the home, they're okay if you want to listen. It's got really good frequency, good bass, good treble response. So they're about $300 at Amazon and other places. So I'm going to re-gift that idea. The other idea that one thing that Santa has delivered and I suppose I shouldn't say more than that, otherwise I get in trouble. But it's a Bluetooth sound speaker, and it's called the Riva S, and it's about the width of a MacBook, about 3 inches tall, 3.5 inches tall, and about somewhere deep. And the thing about this is there's a hell of a lot of engineering that's gone into making this. They have 2 speakers at either end. They point in. They have one speaker that points out, and then they have passive modules for bass, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. So in total, they have 7 sound generating elements. It's really distinguished itself. You can get really good bass on this. And compared to a lot of other USB sound devices out there where they process the sound so it really sounds horrible, this has pretty flat frequency response, meaning they don't muck up the sound. They don't try to second guess it and make it look horrible. So I know that some people like some of the headsets from the company that Apple bought because they have a lot of big bass. If you don't like that, if you want more of a natural frequency response, this is by far the way to go. It costs about $250. It's available at Amazon. It's available on their own site, which is rivaaudio.com. And the founding of the company has an interesting story. I mean, they have 2 really interesting backers. One's a colorful guy named Ricky Farr, who produced a lot of the classic rocks, concerts in the 60s. And to hear him tell the story, he talks about all the sounds that all the beautiful concert sound that people had, and tube amps and everything. That to use his words, that most speakers today, he says, they sound like elephant farts. You just don't have any bass. Everything is all muddled. You just don't get the quality of the bass. So, he decided he's in the time he has left, he's going to make his mission to protect music, to protect, the recordings of the past and the present by making, good quality devices that reproduce sound, with full fidelity. And he hooked up with another, audio designer who's done a lot in Southern California, and the 2 founded a company. It's really great to see it. If you want to learn more about it, certainly go to their website, as well as, there's a podcast called Home Theater Geeks, hosted by a guy named Scott Wilkinson on Leo's network. There was an interview with Ricky Farr in September or October of this year. By all means, great listen. He has great stories about, some of his stories of how he got, into producing concerts, and has some Dylan and other Beatles stories. It's well worth it, if you're interested in those bands and that type of music. Plus, he also tells a story of a little bit about, what he's doing with the Riva Audio. This is sort of like their 2nd generation device. They launched a year ago. So think about that as the iPad. The Riva S is sort of like maybe the iPad mini, but it's a really great device. And I can't wait for Christmas so that I can play more with it without Santa busting me.
Very nice. I'm looking forward to hearing this and learning more about it.
Definitely.
Good. Okay. For my 4th round pick, I'm going to go back to the iPad. The iPad Pro has just come out, and of course, we just spent quite a bit of money on these things, and everybody wants to get a case. And as much as I love Apple, sometimes their pricing can be more than a little high. So there were cases that were coming out, but it was going to add like $120, $130 to the price of the iPad to do this. I'm still waiting for somebody to come out with exactly the right case for my iPad, and so I'm therefore being pretty careful with it. But I'm also primarily taking it in and out of my backpack and then sitting it on a desk or sitting it on the desk behind me. It's not there right now, but so it's not like I'm out.
Your desk is there. I can totally see it.
Thank you. The desk is there, but not the iPad. Never mind. I was looking for an inexpensive case, and when you get inexpensive cases, you get to worry, and there's a reason I want to go with this pick. So I'm going to suggest that you at least look at, and Jeff, I'm with you. I'm not sure I'll pronounce it right. The Muku Ultra Slim Lightweight Smart Shell Stand Cover with Automatic Wake Sleep for the iPad Pro.
That just rolls off the tongue.
This is a case that is a grand total of $12.95. Okay, but It fits. It protects the back of the iPad. It protects all the corners. It has a fold-over flap that will protect the front. It fits very, very well. What really
does it look good for the ladies?
It's. I got the all black one, so it's nice and subtle. But the reason I'm recommending this, I feel so strongly about this, is when I ordered it, they did not advertise the auto wake sleep capability. So I was just getting basically a flap. Big deal. I ordered it. It had not even gotten here, and I received an email from the company saying, hey, even though you ordered this, even though we didn't advertise it, we're upgrading it to support the wake sleep function. So we're going to send you a second case about 10 days after you get your first one. And they did. And they did.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
$12.95 case, and they sent me a second case. Now, I recognize that, these things don't cost a lot to manufacture. It was just the customer service. It was
Great
that
service.
attention. So if you have an iPad Pro and you have not settled on a case just yet, go and check this out. It's one of those that, it's kind of a copy of the Apple thing where you roll it back into a little triangle shape or pyramid shape, and then you can prop it up in landscape mode. If I drop it, it's not going to provide a lot of protection. It'll provide a little, but not a lot. But again, for an interim case, now I can comfortably use my iPad Pro and wait for that perfect case to appear, which probably will happen sometime after CES. But this is, at the very least, it deserves a look for $12.95 at Amazon.
Do they make cases for the rest of the iPad and iPhone line?
Yes. Yes, iPad Mini, iPad Air. Yes, they do, and actually, Mark, I will admit it. I got one for the iPad Mini for the very same reason, the iPad Mini 4, since it's so new as well and doesn't fit the standards. Same thing. We're having to wait for cases. So to me, if it's not the perfect case for you now, at least it's a perfect interim solution. It's like buying a little bit of insurance for your iPad. So, yeah. Good case. Good case. Today's edition of Mac Voices is sponsored by Casper, a better mattress for a better night's sleep. To find out more, try one for 100 days and get a $50 discount. Visit casper.com/MacVoices and use the code MacVoices when you place your order. There are plenty of ways to increase your productivity, but there's one sure way to kill it, and that's by not getting a decent night's sleep. Now, I've been known to go to bed late and get up early, so that makes it all the more important that the sleep I do get is as good as I can make it. That's why I love my Casper mattress. You might not think that a mattress can make that big a difference, and you would be dead wrong. I've spent too many nights on less than ideal mattresses that leave me more tired than when I went to bed, and with an aching back to boot. Casper has worked hard to create a new hybrid mattress that combines premium latex foam with memory foam to give you better nights and brighter days. Obsessively engineered and at a shockingly fair price, as they would say. Even better, you don't have to go get a Casper mattress. Your Casper mattress will come to you. Just visit casper.com/MacVoices, pick the size, and get $50 off your purchase by using the code MacVoices. A few days later, your mattress will arrive at your doorstep, and you will have 100 days to try it. No showrooms, no delivery fees, no delivery men to scrape your walls. In the amazingly unlikely event that your Casper mattress isn't everything I say it is, you can return it painlessly. They'll even send someone to pick it up. But that's not going to happen, believe me. You're going to love your Casper mattress as much as I do. So, with no risk, $50 off, free shipping, delivery to your door, and 100 nights to give it a try, what are you waiting for? Go to casper.com/MacVoices right now, use the code MacVoices for the discount, and your Made in America Casper mattress will be on its way. You can thank me later. Speaking of thanks to Casper for a great night's sleep and for their support of Mac Voices. That's round 3. Steve, I know we're starting to close in on your end of time, so I will make sure that you you start off round 4.
Okay, and this one is actually going to be pretty quick, and oddly enough, it's kind of following the Mark headphone, and speaker meme here, kind of a good idea. And this one is actually the least expensive item that I'm going to be talking about today. I had been looking for a Bluetooth headset, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money because a lot of times I just don't like the sound. I don't, or it's something that I'm going to use when I'm out walking or running or something like that. And, I don't, maybe it's going to drop off my head, get run over by a car or something horrible like that. So I wanted something inexpensive, and I found it, and it actually has amazing sound. What this is the Inateck BH1001 wireless sport headset. It's Bluetooth. I believe it uses Bluetooth 4. Actually, it's magnetically linked here, these two earpieces. When you pull it apart, it actually turns it on. There's a microphone on it, so you can use it to make phone calls. It's got surprisingly good sound, and they even include a nice little carrying case. And if I remember correctly, I believe they even give you like 3 or 4 different ear covers or whatever the heck you want to call these things, the little things that fit into your ear. Hopefully you can't see the earwax in these, but amazing. They run $30. And, when you're wearing them, you just put them in. Of course, I've already got headphones on, but basically you just stick them into your ears. You can barely see the doggone things, almost invisible. I was just totally shocked with the sound quality for $30. So I give it a thumbs up, and I will definitely give you a link to a review I wrote of these for Apple World today for the show notes.
Are they battery operated?
Yes, they are.
How do they charge?
The charge, or actually charge through a little tiny port. I was going to see if I can actually even find it here.
Probably a micro USB.
Yeah, it's right there. I don't know if you can see that next to my finger, but it is micro USB, and they run about 7 hours on a charge. So if it's something you're going to be, flying on a 14-hour flight, you probably don't want these. But for just going out, doing exercise, for an inexpensive but good-sounding pair of Bluetooth headphones, not bad.
Very nice, very nice. A lot of audio stuff here tonight.
Good stuff.
Will you stick around for a couple more gifts?
I think so.
Okay. Give us a heads up when you have to go. Jeff, this is your last chance.
My last gift is me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. My
the gift that keeps on giving.
That's right. Whether you want it or not. I'm like the Jam of the Month Club. Anyhow, sorry about that image right there. My last pick, I'm going back to a book. And there are all kinds of books about Steve Jobs out there. And like most notably, we have the Walter Isaacson biography, which was the I'll call it the inspiration for the Aaron Sorkin and Danny Boyle movie that came out a couple months ago. And anyhow, there's all these biographies about Steve Jobs, Apple's co-founder, out there. And I finally found one that I find to be very intriguing. And keep in mind, I didn't even get a third of the way through Walter Isaacson's Steve Jobs biography before I just gave up on it. I just did not enjoy it at all. But Jessie Hartland, she is an artist and graphic designer, and she wrote a Steve Jobs biography that is called Steve Jobs, Insanely Great. And what sets this apart from all the other biographies that I have seen is that it's done as a graphic novel. So Yeah, and it's really neat, and I really enjoy the artwork that she uses, and I enjoy the way she presents her story of Steve Jobs' life. I like that instead of being very slanted towards he's like a character that needs to be treated as a god, or a character that is a demon. No, she goes down the middle of the road, and she when there's stuff that's good, she points that out. When there's stuff that's bad, she points that out, and she does it in this really engaging, fun way by creating a graphic novel. And it's available in hardback, and it's, I think, $20 or $25, probably $25. But you can also get it as a Kindle book for like $11 or $12, and Amazon has it for about $15 as the hardback also. And like I said, the art is just a lot of fun. It's a really cool way to look at the life of Steve Jobs, and I thought it was a refreshing take on who he is.
So does she retell a lot of the classic stories, or has she done any more primary research to come up with something new, never before known?
Well, it doesn't. The book doesn't really hit on stuff that's not already known. But at this point, I think that would be really hard to do. But it's not a book where it feels like all she's doing is taking the Steve Jobs folklore and putting drawings to it. I felt it was just a really nice, well-balanced story that also happens to be a graphic novel.
That's a very different pick.
Coming soon to your video display toy, your first pick, whose name escaped me. But
The Viewmaster.
The Viewmaster.
The Viewmaster.
Yes.
That would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
It would.
Okay, good. Mark, your last chance.
Last chance. Okay, so we've gone up and down in price scale, so I think we'll go back down to something more affordable. It's a book. Again, it's available both as hardcover as Kindle edition. And the name of the book is Citizen Canine. And it's written by sort of a scientist turned science writer. And he sort of sets out answering the question, why is it dogs and cats are now treated as family members? So, he tells his story about how just barely newlywed and, fledgling writer and wife in grad school, and they had a dog, and they had a pair of cats, and they spent $3,000, on treatment for one of them, and he realized that I'm nuts. I can't afford this. Why did I do that? So he said about tracing, how people have, viewed, dogs and cats, and how their relationship has changed to now why people treat them like members of their family. There's some heartbreaking stories about pet owners and Hurricane Katrina. So, very interesting book for a dog or a pet owner, or maybe even for a non-dog or pet owner that you want to open their eyes. So
Nice.
$11 on Amazon.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming, Mark.
We like to keep you on your toes, Chuck.
You guys do. You guys do. I don't mind saying that when I put this group together, I was a little concerned about what might come out. So it's been pretty good so far. It's been pretty good so far. So, Mark, I'm kind of sorry in some ways that you're here for my fourth round pick because I don't want anyone to think this is a commercial. I don't want to think it's influenced. But every year I recommend this something like this, and this year I have to recommend the Drobo 4-bay drive case, Smart Raid. I will say it right up front. Drobo has been a sponsor of the show. And Mark does some work for them, but that's not why I'm recommending this. This is the gift, I think, as Jeff, as you had said at one point, this is the gift that keeps on giving, because you're not just buying storage for today. You're buying, you can take advantage of cheap storage. As more storage gets cheaper, you can upgrade this easily. You have redundancy so that if one or even two disks go bad on you, and we all know spinning disks will go bad sooner or later, not if, but when, you are going to be protected for when that happens. I did a MacVoices briefing a little while ago about an adventure that I took with one of the Drobos when there was a problem, and the service and support were phenomenal. And I can honestly, very proudly say I've never lost any data in a Drobo. And that's why I recommend them so highly. This has USB connectivity, so it's a fast RAID. It's going to be a little bit expensive if you look at it from the standpoint of, well, gee, I can just buy a case for $29.95 and I've got a perfectly fine case. Yeah, you can, and you can put one drive in it, and when that drive goes bad, your data is hosed. So go and get the Drobo. This is the part that I hesitate to do, but I will do. The Drobo folks have been very kind. They've given us the code VOICES100 to get $100 off of this particular Drobo, bringing it down to a price of $199. And so to me, that's one of the screaming deals of the holiday. For $199, you get 4 bays that you can put in as small as 500 gig or up to, I believe they'll accept 6 terabytes. Mark, maybe maybe even 8 terabyte drives at this point, and mix them. So it's not like you have to buy 2 of everything. You will have to start out with 2 drives to get the redundancy, but beyond that, just add as you want. You don't have to buy 4 all at once. You can buy 3, then 4, upgrade one of them, upgrade all of them. It's mix and match as you wish, but this will protect your data. And please, folks, if you've got photos, if you've got videos, especially for the holiday season, you want those items protected. You can send them to the cloud, but then you got to figure out how to get them back down. This means they're right there offline, protected from drive failure and from all the little nasty things that can happen. So the Drobo 4-bay, go get it.
And Voices 100 for your discount.
And Voices 100, thank you for the discount, yes.
And where do they need to buy it?
Drobo.com, as I recall.
Drobostore.com.
Drobostore.com, thank you. Thank you. Or I believe the link that you're supposed to use is drobo.com/MacVoices, and there you can jump off. But even if you don't use the discount, even if you don't use my code, just please go and get this for your own protection and your data's protection. You won't be sorry.
How many Drobos do you have?
I'd rather not discuss that.
Okay, I have 4.
I will suffice it to say I have you beat.
Oh wow! Okay.
So
wow.
Well, you're a podcast producer, so you must be out of ears with content.
I archive a lot
I feel
of stuff.
kind of behind the curve with only 1.
Well, Jeff, I know where you can get a deal on another one.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Hey guys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. I hope you all have a great holiday. I definitely want to go around the room though and give everybody one last chance to tell folks where they can find you when you're not here picking gifts and picking on me. And we'll just do the order we used the first time. Steve?
Yeah, you can find me at Apple World Today. That's appleworld.today, or over at the Rocket Yard, the OWC blog, and that's available for your viewing and reading pleasure at blog.macsales.com.
And do you tweet?
Yes, I tweet all over the place, and I'm at Stephen Sandy.
Stephen.
Yeah.
Stephen Sandy. It's very
because Twitter's such a formal venue.
And Steve
Yes,
Steve is such a formal guy.
I shall tweet. I have tweeted.
Can you conjugate that verb?
I tweet, you tweet. You, she, and it tweet. They tweeted. Anyway, we can go past.
Yeah, this is more of what I was worried about, folks. Mark?
Easiest place to find me is on Twitter also. It's at Mark Fuccio, Fuccio, and that's Mark with a K.
Great. It's good to have you. Thanks so much for being here.
I had fun. Thanks for the invite.
Jeff?
I'm hanging out at macobserver.com with a bunch of really awesome writers. And I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I'm Gamet both places. If you check out Instagram right now, you'll see lots of Lego photos because I'm posting the Lego Star Wars Advent calendar each day. Today was the Millennium Falcon. And let's see. You can find me on a bunch of podcasts, including the Mac Observer's Daily Observations podcast. I do that every weekday. And Fresh Brewed Tales.
Great.
There, too.
Great. And I have to ask about the photos you are tweeting. And I'm serious. Are these your photos? They're not taken from the book you mentioned.
Oh, the photos that I'm tweeting? Yes,
Yeah.
they're all mine.
They're all yours.
Yeah, so I take out whatever the little Lego bits are for that day in the Advent calendar. I build the thing, take a photo with my iPhone, and then share it on Instagram.
Got it. Very nice. Very nice. You're really dedicated to this, aren't you?
Yes, I probably there should be some therapy involved, I'm assuming. But yes, I'm very dedicated to this.
There are a lot of things that therapy shouldn't be involved in, but that's another show. Hey,
Yeah.
have a great holiday.
You too.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joiner. We hope you have a great holiday. We will definitely be seeing you before all the holidays hit, but I think that may wrap up the gifts for this year. I hope you got some great ideas. We hope that you'll send us some of your ideas if we didn't get to them. We'd love to hear them. Until the next time, and as always, happy holidays and thanks for watching.
Happy holidays.
Live long and prosper.
I still want to keep it family friendly, so happy holidays.
Visit MacVoices.com for links, show notes, to subscribe, to connect with Chuck on Twitter, Google+, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the MacVoices blog. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, the MacVoices Dispatch, to stay up to date on all the latest MacVoices news from our front page or at MacVoices.com/newsletter. Do more with your Apple tech by subscribing to the free MacVoices magazine on Flipboard by visiting MacVoices.com/magazine. Advertising and sponsorships handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.